Let's now have a look at various Englishes spoken in various parts of the world. And in this regard, we can begin with Asian Englishes. Asian Englishes include the Englishes or the varieties of English which are spoken in Southeast Asia and South Asia. South Asia is a part of the world which includes countries, for example, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Bhutan, and Maldives. Southeast Asia include countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, and Thailand. Singapore is also included in this region. Let's begin with South Asia. South Asia is one of the parts of the world where English has a very long history of contact and is included in political, social, and especially in educational and intellectual life of the people. So overall, it has a very long history of contact with the people and the regional languages. Kachru argues that the term South Asian Englishes may not be considered as a uniform term which refers to linguistic homogeneity. Rather, it comprises various varieties and sub-varieties of English which are used in various parts of South Asia. And we could easily divide the English spoken in South Asia as Pakistani, Indian, or Sri Lankan English. Status of South Asian English is, as I mentioned earlier, English has a very long history in this region, and it has remained a language of international communication for many years and decades, even decades after the independence of this region, most part of this region from British rule. In India, it remained a language of international communication since 1967, where through an act it was declared an official language at par with Hindi. And South Asian English may also be considered as the educated variety of all the Englishes spoken in this region. However, as I said earlier, this variety has many sub-varieties. An important feature of Englishes in South Asia is also its neutralization capacity, because most parts of South Asia are multilingual, and in this region, language or the use of language in a communication is also considered a marker of identity, and this identity may be religious, caste, cultural, or other forms of identity. And in such countries, language is a tricky way to represent one's identity, and it might sometimes give birth to many controversies. So a neutral language, a foreign language, may serve as a point of neutralization where people could forget their local identities and could relate to this foreign language in order to avoid any confrontation within the society. So this neutralization effect of English has been very prominent, especially in India. Similar to India, Pakistan has also seen the role of English in its national life, and despite repeated promises by the successive governments and the constitutions proposed by these governments that English will be replaced by Urdu in various aspects of national life, but it never happened Actually, English is still a very powerful and dominant language in our national life, and we know it's a language of higher education. It's taught as a compulsory subject from grade 1 in many parts of the country. As I said earlier, it's still a very dominant language. Another aspect of the Englishes in South Asia could be seen as Englishization of the regional or local languages. And in this Englishization, we could see that a lot of influence is being taken by the local languages from English. We see there are so many words which have been borrowed from English, and we could, in this way, we could see a lot of lexical innovations. The motivations for using English words in local languages could also be cultural and social. For example, Kashmiri people, especially youth, they like to use the term or like cancer, bathroom, widow instead of their own words or the words available in their own languages for these concepts. There are also grammatical influences. We could see that the frequency of the use of passive has increased because of English language, then impersonal constructions, and then the syntactical construction of sentences is also influenced by the use of English language in various spheres of life. And use of code mixed language, where English has a role to play in various parts of South Asia, reflects the overall power of multilinguals to use their linguistic repertoire in various spheres. And it also shows the role and power of English in such regions as well. And this could be seen in various audiovisual media, various campuses of the universities and colleges, and also in various professional and bureaucratic setups. This overall reflects the role of various Englishes spoken in South Asia.